I'm not gonna lie. I'm tired as shit, but I'm happy to be here regardless. I think the whole reason that I started doing, or like that I wanted to do morning zatsus is like I wanted to get into a more morning routine and, you know, be a productive member of society. But it just makes me even more EB. Okay. Immersion time. Okay, immersion time. Ah! Zombies! Ah! Ah! Oh god! Oh god! There's blood everywhere! Zombies! Ah! Oh shit! I forgot to tweet. Hang on. I forgot to tweet. I love you for streaming at this time. Oh, I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. I'm just doing what's convenient for me. But I'm glad you could make it. Let me starting exclamation point. And then yes. Look at this immersion. Oh, zombies! Oh god! Tweeting in a zombie apocalypse. Yeah. What can I say? The internet clout calls to me. Gotta take a selfie with a zombie to truly lock in my clout vibes. Let me. Oh, okay. I forgot everything about my intro. Let me do it really quickly. Speaking of clout during a zombie apocalypse. Hi everyone, I'm Prism Project 5th Generation Lightning Charge Android called Tsubame. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for being here. Let's do a quick roll call. KOUHAYO to Vistal, Hitorimachi, Dark, Cypher, Arterial Queen, Rex Verse, Blue Orca, Demon Warrior, American Bison, Flame Drink, Michael Poyo, The Thingoid, Advance, Nanako, Kawakuma, Los Heimerdonger, Immortal in Flames, KP, Gloomy Soul, Mr. Beautyface, Nimbus, Grow, and Sid of Antioch, Nord, KOUHAYO, Watayubi, KOUHAYO. I hope I didn't miss anyone. And Milk Tea, KOUHAYO. Since you're an android, would zombies even care to notice you? Oh yeah, I'm safe. But if you guys get infected, then I'm gonna be really sad. And I would prefer for that not to happen, so. Oh, you know what I should have done? Spoiler warning for The Last of Us. Cause I really want to talk about this show. I've been thinking about it. Oh shit, that's too small. I've been thinking about it for like ever since I finished it. I just finished it. Nice. Okay, I have a lot of feelings. And if you've played the game, I'm pretty sure the ending is the same. So let's talk about it. Have you played the game? Do you plan to one day? I'm really bad with zombie games. I tried Dying Light 2 and I got jump scared really bad and I just stopped. It's easier, like the zombies are easier than say like ghosts and like things popping out at you and stuff, but it's still not great. Isn't very jump scary because it's third person. Oh, I see. Left 4 Dead. I don't know, like it's not my thing. It's not my vibe. Project Zomboid. Oh, isn't that the one that Yura Senpai's playing? Maybe. But yeah. Okay, here's where the spoilers start, and I'm sorry if you get spoiled, but I'm not happy with that ending. I was so invested the entire way through. I was Team Joel all the way through. I literally was like sitting at the edge of my seat, just fuming. He spent he risked his life over and over again to complete a mission. right? He spent, wait, hang on, my fucking notifications are, okay. He risked his life to get something done, right? Only to throw it all away at the end. And I get it. I get it. I like, okay, you got an emotional attachment, whatever, right? But I think it's for someone who is so plagued with guilt, right? When he talks to Tommy about like, oh yeah, we did really bad things, like we're bad people, right? In my head, think of Train to Busan, right? The people that did bad things in that movie, regardless of whether or not you root for them, get what's coming to them. And I won't say more than that because Train to Busan, I won't spoil it, but it made me so mad that Joel felt justified to just fuck over the human race. Right? It's just not right. A lot of people mistake Joel for being a good person. I guess I expected too much of him. I'm just mad. I'm not okay. I'm not okay with that ending. It made me so pissed off. And apparently, I was on the internet. I was scrolling through the internet after that. Apparently, a lot of people like that ending. It's explained in game and shown a little in the show that the cure was not a guarantee, but I would still, if I was Ellie, right? If I was Ellie, and they didn't tell her that she would die, but I think that if I had like an out-of-body experience as Ellie, I would be okay. I would be okay to be like, okay, for the sake of the universe. Realistically speaking, they wouldn't be able to do anything with her. They would end up killing her for nothing. Really? What if I were Joel? Here's the thing, right? Like, because I think that I would be plagued with guilt. After letting everyone around me die and you know, being selfish and killing for personal greed and all of those things, and like being like a bad person, essentially. I think I would like want to punish myself. Like, I feel like I wouldn't want to be, I wouldn't feel comfortable putting the world in danger just because I got attached to one person. Because deep down I would know that I'm not a good person. He already lost too much? Yeah. He got too attached. We never had a guarantee. Yeah, I know. But I don't know. I was just so upset. Would you let your surrogate daughter die for absolutely no reason? I don't know, cause like they weren't clear about the chances. Like they didn't make it very clear whether or not the like what's the percentage chance that they would be able to make a cure out of her, right? Cause like if it was like a 20% chance, oh shit, I don't know about a 20% chance. That would suck. But I don't know. If it was like 50-50, I would take those odds. Anything under 50-50, then it's a little hazy. But I was just mad. When he was like shooting up the hospital and stuff. I was like, bro, you literally, come on. How much is hope worth? Yeah, I guess that's the overarching question, but I was just so sad. And that episode with Sam and Henry broke me. It broke me. I watched it on the plane while I was going to visit Ami. I watched it and when Ellie like touches Sam's shoulder and he's a zombie and he's like, ah! I jumped. I got jump scared. And then when Henry shot Sam and was like, what did I do? What did I do? And I was like, no, no. But think about that in comparison, right? Henry was so attached to Sam. He did so many terrible things for Sam, right? He did so many terrible things just so that Sam would live. And he was plagued with guilt because of it. He was ready to sacrifice himself to those like insurrectionists so that Sam could continue to live, because all of the bad things that he had done up until that moment were so that his little brother could live, right? So when he was faced with that moment, when he could either kill Sam or, I don't know, kill Joel and Ellie and try to protect Sam even though he was already a lost cause, that kind of is the same moral dilemma, but like on a smaller scale and a shorter term, right? Because Ellie is mortal. She's gonna die eventually, one day, in the grand scheme of things. And Sam is already a zombie, so he's basically gone. But the comparison there is like he prioritized the safety of a greater people in that moment, felt plagued by guilt for you know, first of all, everything that he did went to waste because Sam became a zombie. And also he literally just shot his little brother. But he didn't do the emotion riddled and illogical thing to do, which would be like, originally he was like, no, stay away from him, and he pointed his gun at Joel, right? That would be stupid, because for the greater good of the people, it would make sense to shoot Sam. And in the same way, for the greater good of the people, it would make sense for Joel to let Ellie die. It just makes sense. And it's a sad reality of the situation that they're in. And I guess it's heartless. It's heartless. It's heartless of me to be thinking about it so analytically when there's, you know, real human sentiment and all of those things at stake. But when you look at it logically, it's just really sad. It's just really sad. 20% and 80%, there's a cost. If you lose the appeal of humanity, what's the point of being alive? Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, Henry sacrificed his humanity to save Joel and Ellie, and he killed himself. He just shot himself. And I think that Joel has so much red in his ledger, or whatever the term is, that he should, like, I'm not saying he should have killed himself, but he should have been plagued with enough guilt that he should have felt like he didn't deserve that happy ending with Ellie. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. I honestly was hoping that he would rescue her. They would take that hike up the mountain, and then he would accidentally like let slip a lie or like a contradiction, and Ellie would just be like, what? And then he'd be like, oh, sorry, no, I didn't mean that. Oh, shoot, oh, sorry. And then she would like kill him. Because I honestly thought that Ellie was going down the like batshit route. I thought that because when she killed that pastor and just kept like slamming the cleaver into him, I was like, my jaw was open the entire time. I was like, what the fuck? She's going crazy. She's going crazy. And so I thought that she would kill Joel. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know anything about part 2. Do not spoil part 2. I have no idea what goes on in part 2. But yeah, I thought that it was gonna end with Joel dying, because that's the common ending for these kinds of themes, where people that did bad things get what's coming to them, you know? Are you tempted to play part 2? I'm just gonna wait for the next season. I am a coward. I am a coward, and the only way for me to tolerate scary content is for me to like when I was watching it, I literally put the remote like far away from me so that if something scary happens, I can just I just like put one hand over my eyes and watch through like the slit of my fingers, because I'm a coward, and I purposefully keep the pause button away from me. But when it comes to games, exactly, I'm literally that emoji. But when it comes to games, I just freeze up. Like I hit escape and I'm like, nope. I can't do it. And I just get paralyzed with fear. So I can't do that. I can't play the game. But yeah, I think my limit is just watching the zombie content. The part they filmed in Indonesia, and the professor says she would like to go home to her family because she knows what has to happen. Yeah, it's so sad that they give us like the little vignettes of other people and how the outbreak has affected their lives. Like, oh, Bill and Frank, bro. Bill and Frank were so cute. They just spent their entire lives being together. And I thought about it, and I was like, if I were a human, I would not prioritize, like, I wouldn't be one of those like doomsday preppers, right? Like, I wouldn't keep canned food in my basement and, you know, learn how to hunt and all of those things. I would be too lazy. But I will I will make it my goal to be charismatic enough that if the zombie apocalypse does happen, I will be charismatic enough that when I fall into a hole set by a survivalist, I will be able to riz my way into his heart and have him take care of me for the rest of my life. That'll be my game plan. Just live off of someone else and have him take care of me, and I don't know. Just throw confetti on the hole. So true. So true. Just hope you don't raise your way into his belly. That's so true. Oh my god, with the cult, the moment that I saw the they did a close-up shot on the meat, and I was like, ain't no way that's beef, ain't no way that's pork. I know what that is. You can't fool me. I've seen enough cannibalism. I've seen enough cannibalism to know where this is going. One thing I compliment Last of Us on is humanist tone. I really like Train to Busan because it highlights a lot of like guilt and selfishness and just like betrayal, I guess. You've seen it? Train to Busan? Yeah, I love Train to Busan. It was the first zombie related content that I ever had the courage to watch. And I've seen it 3 times now. It's really good. And I cry every single time. I know what's gonna happen and I still cry. And I like that zombie movies, I mean, just inherently, right? There's going to be loss, there's going to be like sadness, and there's I kind of like that. I kind of like that. That it comes with inherently, like, you're gonna get attached to people and they're gonna, and bad things are gonna happen to them. So, yeah, people are only as good as the world allows them to be. So once all hell breaks loose, I get it. I get it when people just have to start thinking selfishly. Did you see the sequel, Soul Station? I thought it was called Peninsula. I honestly did not see it. I heard that it was bad, so I opted out of that. But I feel Train to Busan was kind of meh, not great, not bad. Really? I really liked it. I really liked it. Oh my god, sorry. One Train to Busan spoiler, okay? Just mute me for like 10 seconds. Starting now. When that guy, like, his girlfriend got bit and then he was just crying and holding her as she like bit him, I literally was having a mental breakdown. Anyway, anyway, you can unmute me now. You can unmute me now. But bro, that scene made me cry so hard. So hard. I literally was so emotional. But especially with the ending. Especially with the ending. The ending was nuts. It was more frustrating. I don't know. Love is love, you know? Peninsula is the sequel. Soul Station is the animated prequel. Oh, you can unmute me now, but they can't hear you. I said 10 seconds. I said 10 seconds. They can count. Super tough guy. Yeah. KOUHAYO Inari and KOUHAYO Aimel and KOUHAYO Gureji. KOUHAYO. Watch Zom 100? No, I didn't. You sound energetic this morning. I am. I have my energy in a cup. Reminds me of that movie when that pregnant lady got bit and the baby turned to. Wait, what? Damn. Glad to hear you got back your energy. Yeah. We're fully charged for the day. I got a lot to do today, so I better be fully charged. I haven't watched Zom 100, but I did watch another zombie show called All of Us Are Dead. I think it's a Korean show. And that one didn't make me cry, but it definitely made me really sad. That one was really rough because it's a bunch of kids like high schoolers, and you don't like all of them because, you know, it's high school. There's bound to be bullies. There's bound to be like annoying people, and it gets really like emotionally conflicting. Yeah, I really liked All of Us Are Dead. Again, another tearjerker, very sad, but also very good. I think I've become a lot more courageous when it comes to zombie content. I'm working on it. Okay, I'm working on it because I want to be able to watch. I like to cry. I think that's the thing. I like to feel really strong emotions. And the zombie movies do the best job of that because I'm just crying the entire time. My favorite character gets bitten and I'm like, like. Okay, I must admit there is this one stereotype in zombie movies and shows and stuff that I do not enjoy. You come into contact with a zombie, oh my god, you stab him, and then you're like, oh, thank God, everything's good, and then the person is like panting heavily and they like look down, oh shit, I got bit. Like, you would feel it, okay? You would feel it. There's no delay period, and there's all you can say about like adrenaline and like all that stuff, right? But like, let's be real. If you get bit, you're gonna feel it in the moment. It's not gonna be like, wow, that was like, I'm so glad we all got outside. Oh shit, I got bit on my arm. You know, like, come on. Why don't they go for the head? Yeah, I don't know. I remember in that scene where Ellie's mom was giving birth, she like stabbed the zombie in like the side or something like that, and I was like, come on, man, come on. It's possible they wouldn't. Adrenaline shot can do a lot, I guess. maybe. It's called zombie plot armor. The zombies always have to have the last bite. Yeah, it just gets a little cheesy sometimes. It just gets a little cheesy. People tend to not notice wounds in the heat of the moment. I see. I mean, I don't know. It's even if it is realistic, it gets overdone. You know, like I can count maybe 4 times that happens in The Last of Us. It gets very, very overused. People are only good as their world allows is a really pessimistic argument. It's true to an extent, but people don't need society to be good. I don't know. I think that a lot of the message of like this media does point towards like you once the world starts to fall apart, most people act selfishly. Most people. You never played sports and brushed off scrapes? That's different. Like, if I played sports and got stabbed in the stomach, I think I would notice. I think I would notice. Just my, yeah, a bite is a significant wound. It's not a scrape. It's like a, into the flesh. We'd be doomed if mosquitoes can turn into zombies. Yeah, it would be dunzo. Oh, my belly is red. I wonder why. Yeah, like when Joel was fighting that raider and like didn't even notice that he got not even stabbed. Like it wasn't even a stab wound. He literally got like impaled by a broken bat. How do you not notice that? I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe the human body is just not like very understandable for me. I don't know. But I also wish that they this just a scratch, this but a flesh wound. Hi, non-senpai. I also wish that they had shown like the aftermath of Ellie getting bitten. Getting bait. Because she was with like her girlfriend, or I don't know what they were, but and they were just waiting for each other to turn, right? They were just waiting, and obviously her friend Riley turns and she has to kill her, which sucks. But then at what point does she realize that she is not going to turn, right? Like, I wonder what that realization was like for her, and I wonder how she managed to go to Marlene and be like, hey, so I got bit and nothing happened. What the fuck, right? Like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. I walked around hospital with a broken leg when I got back to bed. That's when it started to hurt. Like, how, really? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just don't understand the human body well enough, but in the game, he falls off a 2nd-story building and lands on a spike? What? That's crazy. Yeah, Ellie probably thought that she was like a god or something. But yeah, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I wish that they had shown more of like Ellie realizing that she was immune. I think that would be sick. Coffee. Oh, I ordered new pods. The ones that I had were like little espresso pods, like the ones that give a very small volume. But I got the ones that basically fill the entire cup now, so I don't have to like top it off with milk or anything. It's gotta be traumatic though, blasting your loved one. Yeah, that's one of the poll questions. I asked if you got bit, right? Would you rather go out on your own terms, ask someone else to you know, take you out, or just allow yourself to turn and you know, potentially harm others and bite others. So we'll see what your answers were for that one. But yeah, you know what? I'll go over my questions first, my answers to the questions before we go over yours. And then we're gonna read some creepypastas. I was originally gonna do like horror alert donations, but then I realized that in order to get those horror alert donations, I have to listen to them, and then I got scared. and then I backed out. So we're just gonna do creepypastas instead. Did I miss another Google form? Yeah, it's every other week. Okay, so I asked, the zombie apocalypse just started. What's your game plan? Now, my game plan is die. Let's assume I'm human here, okay? My game plan is die because, like I said, I have no survivalist skills. Chances are I will not be rizzing any survivalist into taking care of me. I think I would just die. I can't see myself trying to live. I don't know. Don't you want to create a bucket list before you kick the bucket? But I would be too scared to do anything. I don't know. Would you let me live in your bunker? In your little like nuclear fallout bunker and take care of me and feed me and stuff? I won't be able to like provide any utility or do anything productive. Your bunker? Okay, then I'll come live with you, I guess. I don't know. I'll provide moral support. Cook and clean? I'll think about it. I'll think about it. That sounds like a lot of work, and I don't really want to do that, so I will give moral support, okay? While you're doing all the work, I'll be like, yeah, go team. We're doing so well. We're surviving. Yeah, fuck zombies. And then I'll, you know, lay in bed and have an existential crisis or something. We're fighting the zombies and you can't cook or clean? Come on, man! I'll cook, but only because cooking in a post-apocalyptic world sounds a lot like just reheating cans of soup. Like, you know, all of the little like Chef Boyardee cans and stuff. That's probably all I'm gonna have to work with. So I'm down for that. Abby, KOUHAYO. We be nomadic, not bunker users. No, I don't want to be nomadic. I'm scared. We lost you guys on the last scavenge trip. Go be like, you guys are doing great. Good job. Go team. Canned goods are good for about 2 decades tops. Really? Damn. We're farming. Okay. Well, farming. I can make like salad. Salad. I don't know. What do you want from me, man? Well, world co-op first. She makes coffee, then on this cream soup. Yeah. Oh, I'll make coffee. That's a great role for me. I'll just be the coffee machine. Not an actual machine, because in this hypothetical scenario, I'm human. But like, I'll be like in the corner just grinding the coffee, like, great job, guys. You're doing so well. And then I'll make you guys coffee. Can we give head pads and have bro lap pillows for moral support? I guess. Anything that makes me do the least amount of effort. I just don't want to do anything. Let me die. But yeah, my game plan is die. And if I manage to find someone to take care of me, then I guess I can do that. And then my next question was, you just got bit. Would you rather go out on your own terms, ask someone else to do the honors, or become a zombie and potentially harm others? Now, I am a coward. So I would love if someone else would do the honors. I I know that it would be traumatic for the other person, but I don't want to do it myself. I think that I wouldn't have the courage to, and I would stall and I would stall and I would stall and then I would turn, you know? Like I would lose my window of opportunity. GTA easy way out. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. The real coward route would be pretend nothing happened and hide the bite. Yeah. No, people who do that are fucked up. All sorts of fucked up. Hope you're immune. Yeah, I thought about that a lot. Where like, oh, also I can turn this off. Like, if you like are magically immune, and you take, you know, go out on your own terms or like ask someone to shoot you, it would be kind of awkward, wouldn't it? It would be kind of awkward. Did anyone ever watch Knives Out? I think about that movie all the time because I think about how stupid that old man was. Like, I get it. You think you're gonna die, but also that entire thing could have been avoided if you hadn't fucking just like shot yourself. Yeah, it's a detective movie. I won't spoil it. I think I already did a little bit, but I won't talk about it anymore. But it was very dumb. It was a good movie, don't get me wrong, but like the premise of it was a little dumb because of some decisions that were made. Do you choose to die or be picked up by a cobra? I mean, ideally I live. But I just know that realistically, I'll probably die. Most of the time you visually weaken as you get closer to being a zombie, so if you didn't start to weaken, you might be safe. Wait, what? Oh. Well, I guess that depends on the media, right? Like some people like some people depict like turning as like almost instant. So. Can we have a stream entirely dedicated to spoilers from movies Claus watched? I don't like spoiling movies for people because I don't like having movies spoiled. I am team don't learn anything about a movie and then just be completely surprised the entire time. That is my preferred way to watch movies and stuff. Like I literally don't want to know anything about it. Like I watched the Barbie movie, not really knowing anything about it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really like the Barbie movie, but I went into it completely blind. I was pleasantly surprised a few times by like the funny jokes and stuff. I didn't really like it that much though. Team don't watch movies and consume through memes. I like, the only kind of spoilers that I like is like, this movie with like out of context spoilers, and it's just like a bunch of random stock photos that like you wouldn't get unless you actually watched the movie, so it's not actually a spoiler, you know? In most movies only a fraction of people is immune. What if like third of population was immune to it? I guess it would be a matter of like not getting torn apart then, because if so many people are immune, they would probably still like die to the violence and like blood loss and stuff. I wouldn't advise being with a Cobra in your last moments. I can't believe Cole is God, I called dibs on the body. Oh no. No, but if I turn into a zombie, then you can't do anything weird. If a spoiler would have ruined something for me, I probably wouldn't have liked it anyway. But that's the thing, right? I think I've talked about this before. I got a fake spoiler for La La Land. And because of the fake spoiler, I was waiting for the plot twist that never happened. And it ruined the entire movie experience for me. Because okay, someone told me, or no, I think I read online that La La Land was all just a dream. And I believed it because I hadn't seen the movie, so I was like, oh, I guess it was all just a dream. And then years later, I finally watched the movie. And there's a scene in like the first 5-10 minutes where the main character flops down on her bed. And the next scene after that is a musical number. So I'm like, okay, she's asleep. She's asleep. The rest of the movie's gonna be a dream. And then the entire movie goes by and she never wakes up. And I was like, what? It just ended? And so I got really confused, and the entire movie was kind of ruined for me because I just thought that after she flopped on the bed, the rest of it was gonna be a dream, and then she was gonna wake up and it was just gonna be ordinary. It's not a dream, it's a coma. I don't know. The entire movie got ruined for me. What movie is being talked about? Oh, La La Land. It was fine. Like, I liked the dancing and the whatever and the music and all that, but it took me out because like the entire time I was watching the movie, I just thought that we were in a dream. I don't know. It was very silly. But yeah, I prefer to not get spoiled on things because it makes my preconception change, I guess. I was trying my best to avoid Spider-Verse trailers or spoilers. So I did my best to stay away from those, but even so, I got the spoiler that it's not really a spoiler, but like it's like a two-parter. The first movie came out, and then the second movie is happening in like a year or two. And I went into the theater knowing that it was going to basically end on a cliffhanger. Or I didn't know that it was going to end on a cliffhanger, but I did know that it was going to be a two-parter. But I was so caught up in the movie that I forgot. I genuinely received the spoiler, but the movie was so good that I forgot. And when it ended, I was like, no! I have to wait another year and a half or like another 2 years to get the conclusion to this story. I was so mad. Well, not mad, but like I was flabbergasted. I was absolutely bamboozled. Sometimes people online have no filter and will just post spoilers through memes without caring. Yeah, I hate that. But I do like being part of the in crowd. Like once I watch a movie or finish a show or something, I like to look up all the memes and stuff and just enjoy it, because then I feel like I'm part of the cool kids group, you know. I like looking at all of the discussion about like the trashy TV shows that I watch after the finale airs. That's my favorite. It's just mess. Just all sorts of mess. It's great when you watch an older movie, enjoy it, and the sequels already exist. True. I never watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I don't even know what it's about. Something about my precious, and like there's a volcano and a ring and I guess a lord of them. I don't know. It's never been one of those movies that are like series that I've ever wanted to watch or like be invested in. I've never watched Star Wars either. I think I've watched maybe one movie a long time ago because it was just like playing at like a restaurant or something. Not a restaurant. Is it like a house party? But yeah. It's never been in my purview. Is that the right word? Star Wars is about celebrities fighting each other to the death. But who has the high ground? Worth watching, but kind of overrated. Yeah. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Yeah, something about wong, wong, wong. I watched Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the animated version. I've heard good things about that. But I don't know anything about it. All I know is that Darth Vader is Luke's father. That's all I got. You should read Star Wars Death Troopers. You lost me at read, unfortunately. I don't read. I don't read. Spoiler? Yeah, sorry. Spoilers. Darth Vader is Luke's father. But that's all I know. What about audiobooks? I can't pay attention to audiobooks either. My attention span is absolutely fried. Star Wars is about looking at little weird alien freaks. Everything else is secondary. Wait, I like the little, fuck, I forget what they're called. But they're like tiny little furry guys. Tiny little furry guys. And they go like, wah. No, they don't go wah. Ewoks. Yeah. They're so cute. I like them. They're very cute. Not Yoda. I like Ewoks. They're just little fuzzy guys. I think Star Wars was set in Alabama or something. I know that Luke and Princess Leia kiss, and yeah, very interesting. People hated them. Well, if they did things that were annoying in the movies, then I don't blame you. I only know them because they're cute. They're like high-pitched Waluigi's. Oh. You like the little Care Bears? Yeah, exactly. I like when they're cute and fluffy. Let's see what's gonna take place on Kashyyyk and have Wookiees instead. Is Wookiee what Chewbacca is? Chewbacca? Is that what he's called? That's right. KOUHAYO. What I missed? No, we're just talking about movies. Chewbacca is a Wookiee, and he goes, oh, wait, I can't. It's like a weird, like, bubbly sound, like. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's such a difficult noise. Wookiee is the big furry guy. Ewoks are the small ones. Yeah. I think Chewbacca is cute too. You can do the coos. Chewbacca is badass, and before Disney retconned the legend stuff, he got crushed by a moon while evacuating the population of a planet. What a Chad. What a Chad. Almost got it. Nice. Sounds like a parrot mixed with a purr. Chewbacca noise is what you describe if a lawnmower can moan. Cole is into furries. No, that's not the moral of this story. Come on, cut me some slack. If you think Chewbacca's cute, you should check the Christmas special. The thing is, with those franchises, there's so much content to consume that I just get kind of overwhelmed. I'm like, whatever. Cole's a furry? No, Cole's not a furry. Cole's not a furry. Let's move over. And then we'll go over your responses, and then we'll read some creepypastas, and then I will leave. Okay, so, as you can see, the new icons have been added in. We're gonna run out of space eventually. I don't know what to do about that, but we got the new icons in from our members stream. You've got the helmet from Mega Man, and then the sword from Halo, and the confetti bag from Mario. Maybe I should put them in like chronological order. Hang on. Maybe I should switch this up. Put the hat here. Yeah, like that. Okay, there we go. I think that makes a little more sense. The raccoon is just he's just there. I think that was like my I needed an icon to go there, and I was just like, okay, let's just put a little raccoon there. Is Hot Double gonna get an icon? It's not a short series if it went on longer than Halo. I don't consider it a series because like it's just doing the same thing over and over again. So, are these new emote ideas? I like the Wahoo bag. No, it's not an emote idea. It's just little icons. It's like desktop icons, you know? Want us to update our Brosuki? I haven't added the new accessories yet because I'm lazy, but I will add those very soon. Hermit, KOUHAYO. And yeah, the raccoon has been there since debut. I don't really know what he does there. Where were we? Okay, so we have a bunch of responses. Oh, and also I updated the playlist like right before I went, or maybe like a minute or two after I went live. So if you refresh the page, you should be able to see the music share. So The zombie apocalypse just started. What's your game plan? Just get a car from the dealers and ram into every single zombie on site. I mean, that seems like a very short-sighted game plan. Like, what do you do after you run out of gas? What do you do after your windshield is cracked to the point that you can't see anything anymore, right? The raccoon is just being a funky little dude. Exactly. Is the raccoon like your equivalent to Bonsai Buddy? What is Bonsai Buddy? But yeah, it seems a little short-sighted. But you know what? I'm not gonna judge. You do you, okay? You do you. Let me scroll down a little bit. Seek refuge in the least populated part of the city as possible. Fortify my defenses. Collect everything that counts as a weapon, and I don't know, hunt squirrels. I'm gonna be that guy in every zombie movie who stays alone and barely trusts anybody. I mean, that's fine, I guess. But if you're in the city, how many squirrels are you gonna be able to hunt? I didn't realize we have to write out full essay answers. Oh no, you don't have to. You don't have to. It's your choice on how you decide to answer these questions. Ideally be in a commune with other survivors, fending for ourselves as long as we can. Realistically, I'm probably either eaten or turned into a zombie within a week of it starting. At least you're realistic. At least you're realistic. KOUHAYO! 저렇게 그는? KOUHAYO. My answer is like cause and die anyway. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's an old weird virtual friend that was also malware, really? I will neither confirm nor deny that I may have tried to do that in a video game. Wait, the hunting squirrels thing or what? Don't forget about long-term foraging. Yeah, you gotta set up the stonks. You gotta start playing Stardew Valley, bro. Thing is here, KOUHAYO. Contact my Oshi and confess my love before it's too late. I mean, priorities, I guess. Like, before the telephone lines go down? I guess. Get as much canned food and water, and then hold up in my house for around a month, then keep low and scrounge material from abandoned houses around me. But what if you're not the first one, right? Like, what if people already have tried looting your neighborhood? What if you're the last person? What if you get raided? A month is a long time. You think you can survive a month with the things that are in your home? Cause the electricity is probably gonna go out, and then you're not gonna be able to eat all of the stuff in your fridge. I would only have like dry ramen to eat. What if the Oshi is gone before? Cole fucking hosted all of your game plans. Honestly, that was the whole reason that I asked. That was the whole reason I asked, because I just wanted to I just wanted to roast you guys. Locate my family members, reunite on the countryside by the family friend farm, throw ethics out the window, and prioritize the survival of my family. Understandable. Dry ramen, no biscuits. I don't keep a lot of snacks at home, I'm not gonna lie, because I don't have a lot of self-control. I don't have a lot of self-control, so I prefer to not keep snacks at home. I approve of this one. I approve. Keeping your family safe and being as isolated as possible. I can get behind this strat. Escape with Cole and start building an underground base, like that one mobile game ad that I can't remember the name of. But I don't know, it seemed real easy to build an underground base, almost like pressing floating buttons makes everything happen magically. I bet it'll be the same when I need to do it. I've seen those where you like drag your finger and it just excavates the ground for you, and I'm like, oh, so it's that easy? And there was just conveniently a well of water underneath here that's completely clean and potable. Wow, how convenient. But yeah, I'll take it. I'll live in that underground, very convenient underground base. I'll take it. As a note, shipping containers would make very good barriers against zombies. Oh, that's true. I would live in a shipping container. Some people do that. Some people like turn shipping containers into homes, which is strange, but you know, people also turn like school buses into homes. So I don't know. Especially if you stack them up with a crane or something. I get so freaked out when like in zombie movies, they like start climbing on top of each other to like bite you. That scares the shit out of me, honestly. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Take Pete's car, go to Mum's, kill Phil, grab Liz, go to the Winchester, have an ice cold pint, and wait for all of this to blow over. Who are all of those people? Is this from a show? What is that? Who are all of those people? Who's Pete? Who's Phil? Why are you killing him? What did Phil do? Who's Phil? Shaun of the Dead? I see. I don't know the reference. I don't know the reference. Poor Phil. What did he ever do to you? What did he ever do to you? Come on. Die. Yes. Whoever said die, same. Excellent film, by the way. I see. Maybe we'll watch it. My dad turned a Mercedes coach into a motorhome. It would need a fair few mods to make it anti-zombie though. Damn. Yeah, I could not be one of those like RV people, like living in an RV. I could not do that. It's probably the best movie, better than Zombieland, I say. Oh, okay. B. Hampter. Yes. 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 Jump in my V8 station wagon and head to the Aussie Outback, calling and meeting friends along the way. Isolation is key. Then work on a strat for the days to follow. But what is the strat for the days to follow? What's the following strat, huh? What do you do after the first day? I mean, how are you gonna call and meet your friends? All of the telephone lines are down. The power's out. You're gonna run out of gas. I'm moving to either Greenland or Iceland and chill. Hehe there. How are you gonna get there, huh? How are you gonna get there? There's no planes flying. Imagine trying to fly a plane and then one person hides their bite and then, you know, it's like Train to Busan, but instead of a train, it's a fucking plane and everyone just crashes because they got into the cockpit and then the pilot turns into a zombie and brains, you know? I tried to keep the response short, but basically I'll live at the top of the Ayers Rock. I don't know what that is, but sounds isolated. 좀비 공격에도 유괴함을 잃지 않은 게 생존에 중요하다? I don't know what that means. I can't translate off the top of my head. Something about not forgetting. Have you watched the bad World War Z movie? Is that the one with Brad Pitt? I've seen the ads for it. I've seen ads for it, but I never watched it. Cole can't judge us since their whole strategy is to give up. I'm allowed to judge. I'm allowed to judge. You never heard of Ayers Rock? It's the biggest rock in the world in the middle of Australia. What? Massive flat-topped rock in the middle of the Aussie Outback. Oh. I'm not familiar. I'm not familiar. I have enough DACA. What is DACA? So I would get food and supplies. After that, I would hole up somewhere and try to become self-sufficient. Hard for zombies to climb. Well, it'll also be hard for you to climb, right? Because if you're on the top of a flat rock, like, you're not gonna have any sunlight. You're gonna die of heat stroke. Sorry, you're not gonna have any shade. You're gonna die of heat stroke, and then you're gonna fucking just be in a whole world of pain. Daka is a word from Warhammer that means firepower. Ah, I see. Oh, daka. Is that like the sound of a gun? Like daka. Find a reliable water source. Look for ways to gather food. Then find a trustworthy group to build a community that can A, establish a small community mini society, B, find experts to combat the disease, and C, kill as many zombies as we can. Okay. That's simple but effective. I can't complain. It's a good plan. It'll be difficult, you know? Because trustworthy groups are hard to come by, and then weapons are hard to come by, and then science is also hard to come by, so it'll be tough, but good luck to you. Stock up on food and weapons. establish a base of operations for myself and anyone who might need help, including my close friends and family, and strap the biggest makeshift battering ram imaginable onto my car and wing it from there. Huh. A lot of people are using cars, but realistically speaking, I don't have a car, so I don't know. I don't know if this is true, but like, I feel like when the zombie apocalypse happens, I would be unlucky enough that I forgot to fill up my tank. Gotta go have stuff to do. Take care, Micropoyo. Thank you for coming. Assuming that everyone's gonna kill the zombies, how would you guys deal with people who don't want to kill the zombies? Why wouldn't you want to kill the zombies? They're scary. They're trying to eat your brains. I do repair my own car. Oh, fancy. But yeah, a lot of these plans have cars involved, and I'm like, what are the odds that your car is ready to go when the time calls? Go to my workplace to loot because there's a lot of ammo there, huh? Cars are only good for a while because both roads decay fast enough. Before both roads decay fast enough and the fuel fraction's off, siphon it for other uses like big lorries. What is a lorry? Cemetery is home base because 1, the misconception that the dead just dig themselves upwards, not happening. 2, because of reason 1, no one goes to the cemetery. Yeah, but zombies will. Zombies don't discriminate. You know, the people who have the anime protagonist don't kill anyone mindset, but like the zombies are undead. Like they're already dead. A haulage truck. Ah. A car will last for a while after the apocalypse happens. When it eventually runs dry, just strip the car of hard resources. Zombies look human enough for it to be mentally disturbing. Yeah, hopefully their faces are like fucked up enough that you're like, ew, what the heck? When it happens. Yeah, when it happens. Isn't cordyceps like an actual thing? That it infects like bugs and stuff. It only infects bugs, but I know that it like can make bugs move around and the bugs are already dead. But yeah, cordyceps is real. One day it'll be strong enough to infect humans. One day. Become a leader of a zombie god cult and conduct human sacrifice. What the fuck? Why? Whoa, whoa, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, someone has an actual plan. Someone has an actual plan. All right, let's read this. Skills for the community and myself to learn. Medical, sewing, cycling, running, archery, slingshot, spear combat, gardening, cooking, cleaning, basic chemistry, construction, communication, gathering, guerrilla warfare if there's rival communities and gangs, electrical engineering, plumbing, HGV driving, skills for myself to learn, smithing, advanced farming, and gardening. Oh my god, bro is The zombies being 4 miles per hour and somehow not just pickling or rotting over the course of a hot, wet summer, but them lasting an indeterminate amount of time. First, I shave my hair and beard, of course. Is that your first plan of action? Why? You're like, gotta look suave for the zombie apocalypse. I assume they're not swarming me, being where I live, and presume my family are alive because they're in the other rooms. I'd of course listen to my brother, but having discussed this, You discussed this? We'd knock through all our inter-house fences in the village and set up a garden between us all, farming, food, train everyone in the village remaining, including myself, in both what electricity and internet temporarily remained accessible, and books. There's a local library that also, I think, doubles as a doctor's or pharmacist. Useful for medication. Actually, I think that's priority 1. Yeah, don't shave your beard and hair. That's priority number like 10, I feel like. 2 entryways, exits, central stairwell. Won't see that much attack, especially once the units have started thinning out the dead. Thinning them out using the magic of spears and bows, of course, and slingshots once we got our hands on them. Hang on, you're not gonna kill a zombie with a slingshot, all right? You see this massive wall of text and you're surprised they've discussed this? Yeah, they probably, yeah. Some people are just zombie enthusiasts, I guess. Where was I? Spear walls, sound alarms, could see about finding oil, butter, soap, marbles, rocks as caltrops and slippery stuff. And any traps you make, you can obviously mark if they're for zombies so humans can see and avoid them. Spear is easy enough. It's a sharp stick. Enough trees around and we can make advanced ones down the line. My brother knows how to fire harden, and the initial armor is made of thick clothing, several layers. I'd cut up my old clothes that don't fit me and use glue and make armor out of that. Also, we still have my mom's karate arm pads and shin pads. Might have a motocross helmet. Have some gauntlets, I think. Helmet should either, I think, have a phony knight helmet or, well, we have a lot of pans. I'm just imagining someone pulling out the baking equipment. Like wearing a pot on your head. I think I'd be looking for an excuse to cut holes in a pan and put it on my head. Exactly. Shield, big shield, tower shield, baking trays. Baking will be important, but we can get more trays later. Failing that, my shed is the most important thing in the apocalypse anyways. I could take the metal doors off of it. Thin, buckling, but a bit of reinforcement. It'll serve me for some outings until I can get an upgrade. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is so much. My mom knows a lady who rides horses. This is so elaborate. Like, good for you. Good for you. But also, what? Holy shit, man. I mean, good for you. You're prepared. And then the next person is like, stay inside unless going out is absolutely necessary. I have a lot of practice with this. I thought you wanted plans. I know. Thank you. Whoever this was, it was a Brit. Yeah, so true. The fucking, said lorries somewhere, so they kind of gave it away. Oh, and mum. But thank you for the submission. I got a little overwhelmed, but thank you. I'd go to the very sparsely populated north of where I live. There are a lot of remote islands to hold up on, assuming zombies can't cross deep water, and there are certainly cottages one could squat in that are stocked with canned food and solar panels for long-term electricity. Oh, I hadn't thought about solar panels. Solar panels are a good idea. Cole has a fan that is that one guy she'll need to live in the zombie apocalypse. Just need to be charismatic. Yeah, I'm identifying the survivalists in my fan base so that I know who to hole away with. Coldfoot couldn't find any holes to roast. Yeah, I mean, he's got it all thought out. What's good is that you can learn most of those skills in a circus troupe. Just go join the circus. They're like, why do you want to be a clown? And they're like, well, the zombie apocalypse is gonna be upon us one day, and you know, this is the best place to learn how to survive. There are even solar powered cars right now. Really? Damn. The future is now. Find my local grocery store and make that as a base. Next is secure weapons. Anything sharp will do for now. Guns later, since ammo will be hard to get. After those two important things are out, it's time to get people you trust to bodyguard and take shifts to sleep. Endgame, find nukes and restart the world? That's a little dramatic, isn't it? Go to a mall and find supplies. Fair. Die. Because humanity will turn on itself. Ain't no way you're gonna survive against other humans. That's what I'm thinking as well. That's what I'm gonna be thinking of as well. Hunker down in a remote, isolated location. Scavenge for supplies. But like, how do you get there? There's no guarantee that you're gonna get there. 1, get a boat. 2, sail out. I'm already detecting questions in step 1. You can't just acquire a boat. You can't just like get a boat. People own those things. 2, sail out to the middle of the ocean away from civilization. 3, run out of fuel. 4, die of thirst and hunger. Wait, I didn't think this one through. Okay. You can't just get a boat. It's unrealistic. Oh god. Just buy a boat from the floating window menu. Hey, review that one game theory about zombies before the internet dies to remember which town is most optimal for waiting out the zombie apocalypse. If I remember correctly, in general, somewhere with a low population density and few potential vectors for the virus, such as mosquitoes. After I've narrowed down a location, it's time for a road trip. B, make my way to the coast and find a boat. What's up with you guys and finding boats? That's not realistic. Chances are slim though, anyone with a boat likely would have already taken it. Yeah, okay, at least he keeps it real. At least he keeps it real. C, find the remnants of the military and join them. In general, if the zombies are a bit realistic, I've just got to find a place to wait this crisis out until they decay. Usually someplace hot, the cold would preserve them better. Zombies can't swim. What if you're like on a boat and the zombies are like chasing you and they just start doing like the most perfect butterfly stroke you've ever seen? Under ideal circumstances, set up a camp on Mars. So we're just being silly at this point, huh? We're just being silly. And grow food with a greenhouse or something. Under not ideal circumstances, get a lot of guns and ammunition. First, I'll just make sure that all my family and friends are okay. Then I'll try to gather important supplies for survival, make my place more safe, and I don't know, just try not to die. Reasonable. Reasonable. They can't swim, but they can walk along the bottom of the ocean. They don't breathe. But, what if their density doesn't allow them to walk at the bottom of the ocean? So they would just like flail their bodies until they get to the destination, I guess. Stop worrying about studies, job, gym, and just stay home playing some games. After I'm out of food and have no way to turn on my PC or handheld, I'll just become a cool zombie, I guess. What the fuck? Boats are good, just don't fish in polluted waters. The UK dumps sewage, making it all 2 or 6%, forget which, of oysters inedible. Aw, poor oysters. Would the virus affect the sea life? Oh, what if you eat a fish and turn into a zombie by accident? That would suck. Live next to a Costco and Home Depot. I'd rush to stock up. Ah, good idea, good idea. I bet everyone would be raiding the Costco though. Go to my grandpa's in the countryside. Good call, good call. The countryside is definitely the way to go. Hide in my house and cry. Hopefully get supplies once in a while in safety. How do I know zombies don't breathe? Like, how are they alive after death? Well, every zombie, like, media is different, so. This Costco will be a bloodbath. Yeah, it'll be like Black Friday, but at Costco, and also violence. More violence than usual. Board up in a school or forest. School is actually a pretty good idea, because, like, I feel like schools have a lot of dry food as, like, backup for, like, lunches and stuff. 1, create an emergency kit and know where it is. 2, create an emergency plan with your loved ones. 3, check your phone. 4, know your evacuation route. 5, but most importantly, do not always assume you need to always evacuate. And 6, keep it simple. I think that the water would help break down a decaying body. True. True, true, true. Honestly, though, zombies are realistic because they violate laws. Oh, unrealistic because they violate laws of energy. How are zombies producing energy if they just last forever? Well, doesn't the standard human body run on very little energy? So if there's like a fungus, right, like a cordyceps that's infecting your brain, then wouldn't they be able to provide enough energy to, I don't know how it works. All right, you find an old speaker, but you can only bring one song along with you, and it's the only song you listen to for the foreseeable future. What song do you bring? You can listen to the playlist that's in the description of this stream. Uh-oh, you just got bit. Would you rather go out on your own terms, ask someone else to do the honors, or become a zombie and potentially harm others? I'm not surprised. This is about what I expected. Actually, I was not expecting so many people to become a zombie and harm others. I feel like that's a little suspicious, a little bit concerning. But 8.8, my brethren. I'm not judging. I'm not judging. Okay. Needed more options, to be honest. I was worried that people would just like go out on a tangent and like turn this into another long ass essay about what they would do. but yeah, I can support this. And then the last one, what is the best zombie show, game, movie, etc. you've ever seen or played? Why do you like it? The Walking Dead. I've heard a lot of good things about that. Between Shaun of the Dead and Zombieland, both are great parodies of the genre. When it seemed like we were oversaturated with zombie material across the board, the only step up is to have as much fun with the formula as humanly possible. I think I've actually watched Zombieland. Is that the one with, that guy from The Social Network? Fuck, I forget his name. The one who everyone mixes up with Michael Cera. Jesse something. Yeah, I've watched, I think I actually watched the sequel, the Zombieland sequel. And it was pretty good. Oh, the next one is also Zombieland. It's funny, but also full of heart. I'm also going to recommend Zom 100 airing this season. It's funny and sad and horrifying, done so well. Maybe we should watch it then. Is it on Crunchyroll? They made everyone aware of a double tap rule. Yeah. I know the Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah. I know the double tap rule. I watched that movie. I've only watched Zombieland Saga. It's the same thing, right? I don't know. No one talking about Train to Busan? Maybe later on. Maybe the other entries. The Last of Us, hands down. I love the story and relationship of Joel and Ellie. It's just something about that father-daughter connection, especially after you know what must not be named in the beginning. Oh, yeah. Savageland. It takes the typical found footage perspective and turns it into found photographs where you get to discover the events of the story and keep a good amount of suspense as well. Oh, I've never heard of Savageland. Left 4 Dead 2, just pure fun, zombie killing at its best. Otherwise, Project Zomboid, it's the ultimate zombie survival experience. Oh, okay. Yeah, a lot of Project Zomboid fans. Shaun of the Dead, I don't watch many zombie movies, me scared, but that show was funny. I automatically love horror movies with Sean Penn in them. Okay, Shaun of the Dead is also coming up a lot. George Romero's original Night of the Living Dead. Even though the gore is minimal by today's standards, the imagery and themes are still potent to this day. REC, the found footage, wait, REC? I don't know what REC is. REC Trilogy? I've never heard of these. Project Zomboid and Dying Light are the best zombie games I played. I tried playing Dying Light 2. I couldn't. I was too scared. So there's this silly little game called Project Zomboid. There are a million ways to play it. The game is extremely moddable and it's harder than Dark Souls. What? Really? Plus the dev's story of how the game came to be and then was delayed because some burglar stole the laptop with all the source code on it is an inspiration to all game devs everywhere. That's so sad. I forgot you're an even bigger baby than I am with horror. Does The Last of Us count as zombies? Game and series are amazing, if not Train to Busan. I loved how the movies were an unrelenting force that couldn't be stopped. Your only choice, run fast with them. Yeah, I like both of those too. Train to Busan, big tearjerker. Game, Sunset Overdrive. It's fun, fast, and the traversal is amazing. Movie, Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. The title says it all. Show, manga, Zom 100, because the idea of a burnout worker being elated about the apocalypse is just genius. I think we need to watch Zom 100. I've heard very good things about it. Left 4 Dead 2. I don't really consume zombie media besides Project Zomboid. Plus, I can only really think of Left 4 Dead 2, so many good memories. REC, easily one of the best found footage movies ever made. Sunset Overdrive. Love how it led to Spider-Man. Wait, what? Sunset Overdrive led to Spider-Man? Interesting. It's not a game on its own technically, but COD Zombies has been my go-to for zombie media. The first time I saw it as a kid, yes, I know, it gave me nightmares for a whole year, but once I got over it, I gave it a shot and fell in love with its dark themes and intense gameplay. I have seen, I don't think I've ever played COD Zombies, but I have seen gameplay of it. I don't blame you. It looks pretty fun. It looks pretty fun. Once you get over the scary aspect. The 2015 mockumentary film Savageland. Oh, another Savageland. I love it because it presents itself as a true crime documentary about an isolated zombie attack on a small town rather than a full-on apocalypse. The film never shows the incident directly, only the aftermath. Without spoiling too much, the film is about a photographer who stands accused of massacring the town, but he prevents photographic evidence showcasing that it was actually zombies. And the photos in this movie are the most horrific, nightmarish depiction of zombies I've ever seen in any piece of media ever. It's not too long and absolutely worth your time. Huh? That sounds really scary, bro. What the fuck? Telltale's The Walking Dead, it still hurts. Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead. It's the best sandbox apocalypse game I've ever played. Z Nation, great and really fun characters. All of the main cast are endearing, I think, with interesting plots for them. It was both really silly and serious, and always played by its own rules. There was one episode which stuck to me regarding its use of both serious and serious and silly and its own rules. I shan't spoil it in case you want to check it out. More that the thing was done rather than seeing anybody do it struck me with a sobriety and an awareness. Just a one episode plot, insignificant to the grander scheme, easily solved and paralleled in other things countless times, I'm sure. I've never heard of that. It's free on Tubi? Ah! Savage Land? Hang on, let me drink more coffee. I've never heard of Z Nation either. Okay, The Last of Us, because of the connection between Joel and Ellie. The Last of Us for the show and game, Shaun of Dead for movie. The Last of Us doesn't really do anything new with the genre other than the fungal zombies, but it has such great tone, pacing, and character dynamics that it feels like the crystallization of why people loved zombie fiction in the first place, even after the oversaturation of zombie media in the 2000s. The HBO show is shockingly good as well. Shaun of the Dead has such a charming sense of humor, but is also shockingly effective horror in places. The Zombieland movies are quite good too. People seem to like parody zombie rather than like actual zombie. Shaun of the Dead, great movie that I love watching every now and then when I'm in the mood to watch actual movies that aren't animated, since that's what I mostly watch. Left 4 Dead 2, just a simple co-op zombie game to have fun with friends. Shaun of the Dead, High School of the Dead, up until the fan service part. Manga Gakko Gurashi. I don't know what that is. There's a ball of zombies in Z Nation also. Just like oh, that's terrifying. It's Katamari Damacy, but like with zombies. Project Zomboid, I like the slow, methodical approach. The survival mechanics and the Sims-like graphics are just icing on the cake. Shaun of the Dead, one of the best horror comedy there is. Love the visual comedy. The book World War Z by Max Brooks. Unlike many other stories which focus on interpersonal human drama, World War Z is a highly detailed anthology about humanity fighting back to take their world inch by inch and thoroughly explores the ramifications of such an event. Very cool. I like that description. I like zombie games and can't choose just one because different games give me different vibes and I like them all. I like the plot and atmosphere in The Last of Us, but I also like to have fun with my friends in Dead Island games or Dead Rising games where you can craft very fun weapons. Also, I like parkour in Dying Light. I did like the parkour in Dying Light. I did find that quite fun. Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. World War Z should be turned into an anthology series. It would be really good. Y'all are making me want to read a book, and I hate you guys for that. Collex hardcore parkour. I have been thinking about like doing Minecraft parkour on stream at some point. I'm not good at it, but I keep seeing like Minecraft parkour videos where they have the Reddit story times, and then it's like a Minecraft parkour. And every single time, I just get entranced by the parkour because I'm like, well, you know, I have attention span issues, but I just keep watching it, and I'm like, I want to do that. I want to do the jumpy jump. So I might do that on stream sometime. The Walking Dead Telltale game still sticks with me, was super emotional and unique at the time, made me cry many tears, and I haven't had another zombie media experience hit me as hard since. Dead Rising. The amount of creativity that could be applied when dealing with the zombies is unmatched. I Am a Hero. The zombies are smart and the main guy is kind of relatable. Day of the Dead. It has a good conflict between wanting to kill zombies and researching them to find a cure. For game Left 4 Dead 2, I remember spending hours with a group of friends trying to survive the hordes of zombies with only our skills and wits to stay alive. As for movie, I have to give it to Zombieland. It's funny, has action, and was pretty good at giving advice on what to do in a zombie outbreak. Nice. Lots of repeat favorites here, which is surprising. I guess I was expecting to hear a lot of names that I did not know before. Okay. Free space time. Call is Copper Tellurium. I know what that is. Is it a crime for someone to be as cool as you? No, you can be as cool as me. I'm not gonna arrest you. I'm not gonna call the police. Happy August, Cole. Hope things are looking up for you. Thank you. I do love August because it's the last month of summer and I want the heat to go away. Luki, KOUHAYO. Wanted to quickly drop by and say hi before I go to work. Have a good day at work. Have a good day. Thank you. Sadly, I haven't been able to watch streams live lately, but I still try to watch the VOD. Keep up the good work. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And if you're watching the VOD, hello. Send the heat to Australia. I'm sick of being cold, bro. You can have it. I don't want it. Listen to Tsubame's Demon Lord cover, everyone. Please listen to the Crybaby cover instead. I'm more proud of that one. Please don't kill me. I have so much to give. What? I'm not a zombie. I'm not a zombie. I would never kill you. No zombies in real life, please. Hamster. Hamster. That's all I can say. Hamster. The Last of Us series is so good, you don't need to play the game to watch it, but there are wonderful Easter eggs for those who have. I believe you. However, I am too scared to play the game. What do you think makes zombie-related work so appealing? I think it's like, you get to think about what you would do in those situations without the stress of actually being in those situations. I think that's the appeal. Cause apocalypse, no fun, okay? Let's all be real with ourselves for a second. No one actually wants to be in the zombie apocalypse, but it's fun to think about. It's fun to theory craft. I'm pretty sure if a zombie apocalypse started, I would be dead within a week. Very real, yeah, very fair. Last of Us is alright, but part 2 is not my 2020 game of the year for what it is. Oh, really? I still look forward to season 2 of the show. Rate my zombie apocalypse supply list. Desert Eagle 20 rounds, emergency medkit, electric stun gun, zucchini for rations, nightstick, U-Haul truck borrowed. Are you giving it back? Tactical camping knife, sparkling water. I don't know about the zucchini and the sparkling water, but everything else looks good. Last of Us 2 is dead on arrival. Aw. Part 2 is very divisive. Okay. Well, I'll have to wait until the thing comes out. Y'all hear about video games? No. Androids would have an unfair advantage in the zombie apocalypse, wouldn't they? Yes. Yeah. Oh, wait, what? Oh, no! Fuck. I let my guard down. 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 Fuck. I should have known, because who brings a fucking zucchini? I should have known. Damn it. Moving on. I wouldn't bite Cole, that would be rude. Instead, I would just lick her. What? Is that not rude? In DayZ, that zucchini can be planted? Turn into a zucchini tree, a zucchini plant. K is for kilowatt, a harder worker than Heracles. O is for ohm, she resists all enemies. U is for uranium, her power is equal to nuclear. T is for terrifying, her foes struck with fear. S is for sometimes, yes, sometimes she fails. But U is for unstoppable, she gets back up, wind in her sails. B is for bluster and bluff, she's a content generator. A is for all the clippers she'll get with her bait. She, the lord of baiters. M is for magnetic field, how we're beneath her thumb. E is for end, cause in the end she's already won. You were expecting to be called cute. Didn't expect to get acrostic poemed on, did ya, punk? Thank you, Dr. Seuss. I appreciate it. One time, our science teacher had us game out a zombie apocalypse scenario in our town where we would get food, which places would be secure, the best improvised weapons, etc. She didn't come back to school next year, so I'm guessing she knew she was quitting or getting fired and decided to ignore the curriculum and do something cool. That's pretty cool. I would remember that forever. Is a Jiangxi a vampire or a zombie? Both? I think both. But well, I guess if it was only one, it would be a zombie that happens to like siphon energy from others, but both. Ko is cool and cool. Question, game OST or anime OST? Of what? My favorite OST of all time is the Weathering With You OST, if that means anything. Don't scroll down, Cole. I'm warning you, Cole. Don't. I've warned you. No comment. A Vambi? I've covered wars, you know. I don't know what that means. I don't live in Murica, so it's not like I would have easy access to guns in a zombie apocalypse, but it also depends on the zombie situation. If it's really slow zombies, then it'll be like Shaun of the Dead, but just live out your life normally. Zombie coming to you, you give them a push out of my way. I need to go buy bread. I'm very interested in this movie now. You guys make it seem very funny. This all just streams are really fun. Sometimes I have to wonder, Cole is... No, that's not a typo. I did not forget an if. Grr. Grr. I'm just gonna start growling at you if you call me the C word. Grr. Cole, cool. Whatever floats your boat, I guess. Thanks, man. If you had to choose, which zombie would you choose to survive in? Preferred equipment for the apocalypse? Can you market yourself on why you deserve a place on any apocalypse team? It can be anything from owning a vital resource to just being a good mediator. Anyways, as always, thanks for these fun community Zatsus. Cole is Cole. KOUHAYO? Oh! Damn it! And cool. Thanks. Which zombie? Oh, like zombie apocalypse would I choose to survive in? None of them. I mean, well, this Shaun of the Dead apocalypse seems to be pretty tame. So I would, you know, if the zombies are really slow, sure. Oh, warm bodies. Warm bodies is also like really tame. So I would take that one as well. Preferred equipment. Some sort of thing that doesn't require ammo. So like an energy sword. Well, the energy sword runs out of energy. I don't know. I can't, something that doesn't require spears, but like they break. I don't know. It would have to be something like something practical that lasts a long time. And why you deserve a place on any apocalypse team? I am cool. That's about all I got. Machete? Yeah, maybe machete. I don't know. Cole Love, Brosuki Love. Sup? Nothing much. What's up with you? So since you're using this ZATSUDAN Gush about The Last of Us show, what's your favorite moment now that you've finished it? Oh my god. Okay, sorry. Spoilers again for the next 10 seconds. When Ellie is like, so time heals all wounds, and Joel just looks at her and is like, it's not time that did it. I literally wanted to cry. I was so emotional there. And they just looked at each other. Oh, okay. Anyway, spoiler over. Thank you for the streams. It's been fun. You're welcome. I'm glad you're having fun. Machete will last about 6 years tops before that thing breaks. Bold of you to assume I'd last 6 years in a zombie apocalypse. When you think... Yes. Slow zombies over fast zombies. Yes. Call I'm tired. Me too. Last of Us had a lot of real moments. Yeah. A good story if you want a nice read, you can just read the first 3 to 5 minutes. You don't want the full 10 minutes. Oh, you just, Is there anything? Okay, this is the last one. So I'll read this, and then I have a couple other creepypastas that I wanted to read. Let's move over then. Ba-ba-ba-bang. Okay, back to the scary room, because I wanna read some creepypastas for you. And let me it's nerd time. It's nerd time. We're gonna do some reading. Actually, I'm gonna drink some water before we start. Wait. Ba-ba-ba. Okay. So much blood. I know. Nerd time. Okay. So this is called Miracle Girl. Let me turn off the BGM for full immersion. Wait. Turn off your lights and open your doors. What? All right, let's start. The other ones are all like zombie related. I don't know if this one's zombie related. When is Miracle Girl coming? I asked and got a stony look of disapproval from my uncle in return. If he read comic books, he'd appreciate my nickname for an immortal elementary schooler. Grandpa laid his good gray eye on me. The filmy, unseeing one wandered off, like the old man's mind often did. Miracle, Dad! Uncle Isaac snapped, the confines of our apartment's small kitchen lending an extra edge to his voice. I bit my lip to keep from laughing. Did Uncle Isaac really think a 7th grader wouldn't know what Grandpa was about to say? I folded my arms atop the headrest of Grandpa's wheelchair and leaned forward with the heels safety locked in place. Don't take that tone with me, soldier, Grandpa wheezed, which led to a fit of coughing. I sprung up, rushed a cup of water to him, and took away the yogurt. Grandpa raised the cup to his cracked lips. It shook, spilling some water onto the rusty metal box he'd been using for a tray. Uncle Isaac let out a long sigh. I'm a soldier, Dad. I'm not a soldier, Dad. I'm a rabbi. My father was the soldier, but he died when I was a baby. If you want to go to rabbinical school instead of the Marines, I guess you have my blessing, Grandpa said, his voice trailing off. A giggle escaped my lips. I took away the emptied cup and gave Grandpa his yogurt back. I'm glad you find your grandfather's Alzheimer's funny, Daniel, Uncle Isaac muttered. Guilt melted the smile from my face. My mind's as clear as ever, Grandpa protested, finishing the last spoonful and wiping his mouth with his bathrobe sleeve. Now he smelled of blueberry Dannon and old man. So, when is she coming? I asked again. Not that I particularly cared. Uncle Isaac checked his watch. In about 15 minutes. And her name is Eve Roth. That was her name, Grandpa said, as if it had been changed. He raised the yogurt container upside down with the spoon and shook it like a rattle. Corporal Weiss was my miracle. The Germans took him from us when they put a bullet in his gut. Then we thought God, he spat out the word like phlegm caught in his throat, had given him back. That was 75 years ago, Dad. The effort to keep his voice calm reddened my uncle's bearded face. Your memory isn't... What's that in your lap? I gave that box to Grandpa. I gestured to the worn metal container, shaped like a shoebox, but flatter and not quite as long. Only flecks remained of the olive green paint that once coated it. A pair of rusty latches held it closed. He asked me to get it for him from the attic. It's old and metals and stuff. At least that's what Grandpa told me. I'd never seen the box before, having to dig it out from under a big pile of junk. It was too heavy to be holding a bunch of metals. One big thing slid around inside. I was curious, but didn't want to be nosy. If Grandpa wanted me to see what was in there, he'd show me soon enough. Grandpa tapped the box with a quivering, gnarled finger. These are Weiss's personal effects. He had no next of kin, so I took 'em. Grandpa sounded sad, like this man Weiss had just died yesterday and not a lifetime ago. Uncle Isaac's face scrunched. Why would you want to look at those things now? Grandpa's good eye stared past my uncle, fixed on something I couldn't see. Our rifles had been fired, of course. Weiss smelled the gunpowder and thought we were his killers. Uncle Isaac rolled his eyes. No ghost stories, Dad, please, not now. No, not a ghost, not Weiss. The vengeful spirit inside him. God knows why Daibuks choose who they choose, but they only possess our people. You're training to be a rabbi. You ought to know about them. Dad, I finished my rabbinical training 30 years ago. Daibuks weren't in the curriculum. What's a Daibuk? I asked. Grandpa never mentioned them in any of his musty stories of deadly German snipers and unstoppable tiger tanks. Uncle Isaac waved his hand as if to brush away the subject. A bogeyman from Jewish folklore and a figment of your grandfather's imagination. Grandpa didn't hear Uncle Isaac, or pretended not to. Weiss ripped out the medic's throat with his teeth. Daniel doesn't need to hear this, Dad, Uncle Isaac said, hands on his hips and shaking his head in disapproval. A Jewish zombie. Cool. Complete Alzheimer's-fueled crap, but cool. Uncle Isaac never told me to shut up. In words, anyway. His glare did that. Daniel, take Grandpa to his room and put on the game for him. Grandpa's eyes narrowed. No, I want to see the girl. Uncle Isaac rubbed his temples with his thumb and forefinger. Dad, her family just suffered a major trauma. You probably don't remember the shooting that was on the news. I remember the mall shooting, Grandpa said with surprising certainty. Well, the Roths were trapped inside the mall when it happened. Eve took a bullet to the chest. I know. I heard you talking on the phone this morning. I'm not deaf, you know. The girl was declared dead, but now she's up and about. Grandpa pointed an accusing finger at Uncle Isaac. You really believe the doctors pulled off a miracle? Yeah, Dad, I do. Uncle Isaac briefly removed his black yarmulke to scratch his head. But healing the body is one thing. The mind is something else. Eve hasn't spoken a word since she regained consciousness. She was released from the hospital Tuesday. The Roths are coming over for a counseling session to see if I can break Eve out of her shell. You know better than anyone that overcoming trauma isn't that, Grandpa interrupted. The medic declared Weiss dead, the first time. Uncle Isaac's face reddened. I knew he wanted to yell, but a forced calm emerged. Dad, just don't. Don't compare your friend with this little girl. Weiss obviously wasn't dead. The medic was tired. You were all impossibly tired. Weiss was unconscious and woke up shell-shocked, not possessed by a dibuk. You should have seen his eyes, Grandpa whispered, more to himself than to my uncle or me. They were wrong. Daniel, take your grandfather. It's Weiss! He's still coming! Grandpa shrieked. He sent the yogurt container flying when he pointed with his spoon at an ordinary cabinet filled with plates and dishes. His eyes bulged like they'd pop from their sockets, and the color drained from his face. Terror contorted his expression into that of a vampire who'd seen the sunrise. Keep firing at him! My heart pounded hard enough to hurt my chest. Grandpa, there's nothing there. A little boy's voice inside my head screamed for me to hightail it from the kitchen. I was 6 and ran away the first time I witnessed one of Grandpa's flashbacks. 13 now, I stood my ground like a good soldier. Uncle Isaac crouched in front of the wheelchair and met Grandpa's gaze. Dad, no one's coming. You're home. You're safe. The pink crept back into Grandpa's flesh. Isaac? He panted. Yes, Dad, it's me. Is Weiss down? Uncle Isaac nodded. Yes, he's down. Grandpa's shoulders slumped. A strange mix of sorrow and relief softened his wrinkled features. He's been gone a long time. You were remembering the war. Let Daniel help you into bed so you can get some rest. Uncle Isaac moved out of the way and gave me a nod. I took a deep breath and released it slowly before unlocking the wheels of Grandpa's chair and pushing him towards the living room. With speed and strength I never imagined Grandpa possessed, he jammed his yogurt spoon into the wheelchair's gears where it stuck. I'm staying. I kneeled beside the chair and struggled to pull the spoon out, but the handle kept sliding from my grip. How did a man, not much more than skin and bones, get it in so good? Hoping the wheel spokes would force the spoon out or break it, I tried to push Grandpa forward, but the chair wouldn't budge. The wheel's stuck, Uncle Isaac. Damn it, Dad. Uncle Isaac stooped down and tried to get the spoon loose. Frustration wrinkled his brow as his efforts amounted to nothing. Grandpa couldn't walk by himself. Even if we could convince him going to bed was a good idea, Uncle Isaac with his bad back and scrawny me couldn't carry him. Uncle Isaac groaned, grasping his lower back as he slowly rose to his feet. Daniel, get me the toolbox from the closet. The doorbell rang. Uncle Isaac glanced at his watch, then shrugged in resignation. They would be early. Forget the toolbox. He looked to Grandpa. Dad, can you at least stay quiet and not scare Eve with your scary stories? Can we agree the child's been through enough? I bet my uncle wished there was a door between the kitchen and the living room, but there was no shutting Grandpa in. Grandpa nodded slowly, his thin lips pursed. Stay here with him, Uncle Isaac said to me. Keep him calm. I'm going to take the Roths into my study. Okay. Like I had a control over Grandpa's flashbacks. I took a seat at the table, pulled out my phone, and started playing a first-person shooter. Uncle Isaac frowned. Put that away and talk to your grandfather. I looked up at Grandpa. He seemed miles from here, fighting the last battles of World War II in his head. There was no talking to him now. The doorbell rang again. Uncle Isaac walked into the living room, adjusting his yarmulke so it neatly covered his bald spot before answering the front door and beckoning the family in. Shalom, Mr. and Mrs. Roth. He looked down at Eve, who I couldn't see behind her parents, a weary-eyed couple dressed conservatively. Eve's mom wore a head covering and a long skirt, though it was June, and her dad was in a black suit with a plain yarmulke atop his head. Uncle Isaac bent over and offered Eve his hand, which she didn't take. And shalom to you, Eve, he said, undaunted. I hear you are a very brave girl. Daniel, Grandpa whispered, turn me so I can see them. I'll try, Grandpa, but it'd be easier if you hadn't messed up the chair. He snickered softly. I put down my phone, stood, grabbed the chair's handles. Scraping the wheels on the floor, I managed to swivel him so he faced the family. They didn't take notice of us, or pretended not to. Eve hid behind her mom, and Dad as Uncle Isaac spoke. Her parents' smiles were perfectly wide, as if painted on. A sudden chill caused my skin to break out in goosebumps, and I wrapped my arms around my chest. Please follow me. Uncle Isaac led the trio towards his study. Before they disappeared down the hall, I glimpsed Miracle Girl. I'd never pick her out from a crowd of 10-year-olds as the one who got shot, died, and was brought back to life, but any scars and bandages were hidden behind her red dress. Grandpa fiddled with the latches on his box. They clicked, and the lid opened a crack. I felt eyes on me and found Eve, alone at the living room entrance. She faced us like an expressionless mannequin or someone asleep with eyes wide open. Dead, dark eyes that turned my blood to ice. It was as if her gaze met mine by a weird accident, a blindfolded kid pinning the tail on the donkey the first try. I managed a timid wave. Hi, Eve. No answer. No sign she'd heard me. Mrs. Roth came to stand beside her daughter. Mr. Roth and Uncle Isaac were a step behind. Eve, what is it, honey? Mrs. Roth cooed, studying Grandpa and me to see what her daughter found so interesting. Eve lifted her head and sniffed the air like a dog. Uncle Isaac's brow furrowed at Eve's behavior, but he calmly introduced us. That's my nephew Daniel, and my dad, his Grandpa Morris. The hinges squeaked as Grandpa pulled back the lid. You smell it, don't you, girl? The gunpowder. He lifted from the box a large, old-fashioned gun with a long barrel and angular grip. My jaw dropped. Dad, is that thing loaded? Uncle Isaac's word rode a tsunami of disbelief. Put it away now! Eve walked towards Grandpa, drawing air through her nose between each slow, deliberate step. Grandpa leveled the gun at the little girl, 2 fingers on the trigger. The empty box slid off his lap and clattered on the floor. It's not the weapon that killed her, but she don't know that. DeBooks ain't that discerning. Eve! Mr. Roth took her sleeve and yanked her backwards, putting his body between his daughter and the line of fire. In a blur of movement, Eve had a 2-handed hold of his arm, which she twisted until it made a sickening crack. Mr. Roth was still crying out in pain when she effortlessly tossed him across the room, a toy discarded by a tantruming toddler. The wall shook when he hit it, and the back of his head painted a red streak as he slid to the carpet in a lifeless heap. Mrs. Roth's scream drowned out my own. With eyes a manga artist couldn't draw any wider, Uncle Isaac stood still as a statue, mouth agape. I also didn't move. None of this could possibly be real, though it was the wrong time of year for a sick Halloween hoax. Mrs. Roth ran to her husband and knelt before him, not noticing Eve stalking her. Eve jumped onto her back and swung her arms around Mrs. Roth's neck. Her teeth sank into her mother's throat. Blood gushed from the woman's neck in a scarlet geyser. Daniel, get behind me, Grandpa barked. I listened without thinking and cowered behind the wheelchair. 2 bangs shattered my eardrums. Then I heard nothing but a low hum. God had clicked mute on the world. A window flew outward in a fountain of silently breaking glass. Eve opened her bloody mouth, releasing Mrs. Roth. The entangled bodies of mother and child fell over, but only Eve moved, a ravenous leopard rising on all 4s. The other bullet had torn a hole in Eve's shoulder, but it didn't stop her from pouncing on Grandpa. The gun dropped to the kitchen floor. I backed away until up against a countertop. Deafness spared me Grandpa's cries as Eve bit into his throat, sounds I didn't dare imagine. Uncle Isaac came to his senses, grabbed the small girl's arms, and tried to pull her off Grandpa. The drone in my ears subsided in time for me to hear my uncle grunting with the effort, but she wouldn't surrender her prey. He changed tactics, swinging a fist at her head and smashing her ear. Eve paid him no mind. Sirens. Someone reported the gunshots. The faint sound grew steadily closer, but the cops wouldn't get here soon enough. Forcing my eyes from the carnage, my gaze fell on the gun at Grandpa's feet. I dove to the floor and crawled on my belly until close enough to reach under the wheelchair, grab the gun's grip, and slide the weapon towards me. I sprung to my feet behind Grandpa's chair, the heavy weapon in both hands. 3 of my skinny fingers fit around the trigger. I tried to center the notch at the end of the barrel on Eve, but my trembling made it near impossible. Maybe I'd hit her, maybe Grandpa or Uncle Isaac, who was still swinging away at her head. I couldn't My frightened fingers made the choice for me. The automatic weapon fired 4 rounds with an accidental squeeze of the trigger. At such close range, the bullets pierced the wheelchair's back fabric and Grandpa's frail frame. Eve slumped onto Grandpa's lap, then rolled onto the floor, face down, blood pooling beneath her. Her body twitched a few times before it stilled. In the same moment, Uncle Isaac keeled over, bleeding torrentially from his abdomen. I dropped the gun and fell to my knees, my body racked with sobs. Sensing movement, I lifted my eyes and wiped the wet from them. Grandpa had risen from his wheelchair. He walked towards me, expressionless. Blood poured from his neck and the holes in his chest. Did Eve kill him, or was it the gunshots? He sniffed the air, and then his good eye worked its way up from the weapon at my knees to meet my horrified stare. It didn't matter, I realized. The books weren't that discerning. Jeez, what the fuck? Oh my god. Oh, what a turn. What a turn. The only person who, you know, was ready to, like, who knew what was happening ends up getting possessed. Oh, that's fucked. That's fucked. I rated a 7.5 out of 10. I'm more laughing at the uncles and parents getting themselves killed. I mean, it was interesting. I liked it. Let me drink water before the next one. The good thing about these is, like, they're not scary. They're not scary. They're like, they're chilling, I guess, but they're not, like, they're not scary. I'm not scared by these. All right. This one is called Hunger. I don't know if you want to read along. This one I just got straight from the Creepypasta website. So, if you want to read along, you can, but I will also just be reading the entire thing. So, all right. Let's get it. They've killed you 3 times now, but you're still standing. The first one was an annoying butcher who planted his cleaver in your skull. He came creeping up from behind, and before you knew it, a blade was deeply embedded in your brain. Within the hour, you were stumbling around the city again, searching for flesh. The second one was a gorgeous blonde who bashed your head in with a baseball bat. The third one, a sniper hiding on a supermarket rooftop. He put you down with a dry crack from his rifle. A lot has changed since the virus broke out. The city is dead and deserted. Cars have been abandoned left and right. The front doors of people's homes are hanging wide open. The panorama of skyscrapers has been reduced to a collection of bleak glass skeletons, and the roads, always so congested before, are empty spirals in a no man's land. Nothing leads anywhere. The air tastes spoiled. The original inhabitants have either fled, were bitten, or have committed suicide, except for a few small groups hiding out in supermarkets or fortified buildings, armed to the teeth. It is becoming more and more difficult to find flesh. Every now and then, with a bit of luck, you manage to grab some dickhead trying to be a hero, or a lost child. But there is not enough food for everyone, and you wonder who will starve first, you or the last remaining people. Even though you're dead, you feel more than ever before, despite the fact that your muscles and nerves are no longer capable of expressing it. It's not easy, crying or laughing with rotting jaws and popping eyeballs. All you can utter is a combination of rattles and rusty, guttural noises. Your senses are failing, except for your sense of smell. That one works perfectly. You can smell flesh from dozens of feet away. Unfortunately, you can also smell yourself, especially now that the scorching heat is starting to accelerate the decomposition of your dead body. Another thing you still have is your memories. They roam around inside your head, echoes of bitter guilt. Every minute of every day, you think of Lily and your daughter, Ella. You wonder where they are. Are they still alive? The last time you heard from them was when you called Lily to ask if she could pick up Ella from school. You were at the dentist, the asshole who bit you. Now that the sun is setting and darkness is spreading its ominous shadow across the city, you miss Lily and Ella even worse than during the day. It is almost as if the night wants to remind you how lonely a bit in one's existence is. The sun has set completely now, and the pale crescent of the moon floats in the black sky like a threatening scythe. It's time to go out hunting. This is the time when groans in the distance swell and the eerie shadows of stumbling corpses populate the streets. Sometimes you hear a brief yell or long, drawn-out screams from a human. Male or female, the distinction is often unclear. You hate it, but you have to eat. Your insides are tearing with hunger. You spot a man around the crossroads. Food is your first thought. He is all alone. Guarded, the man glances over his shoulder and then enters a corner gun store. If you handle this right, he's yours. You try to move towards the store as quickly as possible, though your partly decomposed leg muscles are a hindrance. Your left leg drags across the asphalt. 10 yards are all that separate you from your prey. Your reflexes suck, so you'll have to surprise him. Too late. A horde of a dozen or so of the dead come lurching around the corner. One by one, they squeeze themselves inside the store. It isn't long before you hear piercing screams followed by 2 gunshots, glass breaking, and then groaning noises from the eaters. Their mouths bloody, they file out of the store again. They took him. You missed your chance. Sometimes, you wonder how long you can keep this up. The city isn't what it once was, just like the inhabitants are not what they once were, or ever will be again. Even the moon doesn't seem the same as it was 2 weeks ago. You feel like it's grinning at you. Everything has changed in a very short time, beyond recognition. Thought chills your insides, as if everything you hold dear is crumbling before your eyes. Lost in thought, you almost miss a subtle movement in the corner of your eye. In the shadow of a dilapidated church, a girl glances around anxiously while moving down the street with small, nervous steps. She looks lost. This time you can't let your prey escape. You stumble toward her, skirting the moonlit sidewalk. It is dead silent. You can even hear the wind whispering, cold and ominous, and for the first time in days, there are no screams or groans anywhere in the background. You are all alone with her. She moves so hesitantly, you manage to approach her without being seen. The girl glances around occasionally, but she is probably so terrified the truth does not register with her. When she stops in an alley to tie her shoelaces, you quickly move 10 yards closer. The distance between you shrinks with every step you take. You hope she can't hear your foot dragging. Fortunately, you are upwind from her, so maybe she won't smell you. Judging by her soiled and torn clothes, she has been living on the streets for a while. She is wearing a short skirt with holes in it, and there are smudges on her bare, pale legs. One of her knees is scraped. The smell of the gash drives you crazy. Her hair is tousled so you can't see her face properly, but you're dying to sink your teeth into her young flesh. Just 5 yards now. When your foot accidentally hits an empty beer can, the girl looks up startled. For a second she freezes, terrified, but then she bolts. Even before you have the chance to curse yourself for blowing another opportunity, she trips on the curb and falls. She stays down, crying. It looks as if she twisted an ankle. She tries to get up, but her leg gives way and she starts to crawl away from you. Between sobs, she screams, "Mama!" You were afraid to hope it would be this easy. She's just lying there, ready for the taking. When the distance between you is just 2 feet, you hurl yourself on top of the girl, who turns her face away in horror and yells in fear of the pain to come. You bite her where her flesh is the juiciest, in the neck, right next to her windpipe. While she tries to get you off her, kicking helplessly, your teeth sink into her white flesh. She screams, her voice breaks, echoing around the empty street like a macabre symphony. Then her screams die away, and she offers no further resistance. You rip another chunk out of her. And then you hear a shrill, female voice crying, "Ella!" The woman sounds furious, scared, and desperate at the same time. It is only when the meaning of that single word sinks in that you realize what you have done. You turn the girl's corpse over and stare into her dead eyes. In your frenzy, you failed to recognize them. How could you have not seen that this frail body belonged to your darling little daughter? The hunger must have blinded you. And the voice screaming her name over and over is Lily's. For days, you dreamed of seeing her again, and now you wish this moment had never come. When Lily sees the carnage, she storms at you like a hellcat. Of course she doesn't recognize you. To her, you are just one more member of the living dead, an eater, a killer. She grabs the revolver tucked beneath her sweater. Without blinking, her face wet with tears but a look of cold hatred in her eyes, she aims the gun at your head and pulls the trigger. You make a futile attempt to stop her, to show you who you are. While toppling backwards, you can still hear the echo of the shot. The stinging pain in your head is paralyzing. Within 2 seconds, you are dead, but just for a little while. Before long, you will probably be stumbling around this cursed city again. All you can hope for is that this time, you won't wake up. I saw that coming for a little while. I saw that. The moment he said little girl, I was like, oh no, he's gonna eat his own daughter. Ah, man. Are these creepypastas? Yeah. This one's called Hunger. This one's not bad. Oh. Okay, we have 2 more. I literally just looked up zombie creepypasta. And you know, it's doing the trick, is it not? The moment it mentioned him having a daughter, I knew, yeah. This one is called My Son Did Something Terrible on Halloween. By the way, I didn't read any of these in advance. I literally just looked up zombie creepypasta and then saved a few links and then you know. Also, these remind me a lot of r/no sleep. I used to spend a lot of time on r/no sleep, but it's basically the same thing, I realized. Okay. So, this one's called My Son Did Something Terrible on Halloween. Let me drink some water before we read. No sleep is so good sometimes, yeah. Alright. I have a confession to make. Oh, if you want to read along, you can. But I'll also just read it out loud. Okay. I have a confession to make. I have been trying so hard to forget what I saw. But now that Halloween is right around the corner again, all these memories resurfaced all of a sudden. I now know it was wrong to keep my mouth shut. But before I tell my husband about it and later on the authorities, I want to get it off my chest anonymously. Maybe this will help me confessing to my loved ones. My son, I'll call him Al for the sake of this story, is crazy about Halloween. Each year, he dresses up as a zombie. Al loves zombies. Last year, he begged and pleaded with me to let him go trick-or-treating with his friends. I used to always come along, but that year he wanted to go without adult supervision. Just him and his buddies. He was 10 years old at the time and pretty mature already. I was reluctant at first, but thinking it over for a while, I approved. We lived in a friendly rural neighborhood bordering on large cornfields. Everyone knows everyone. I figured that they would be fine. The kid needed his freedom after all. Plus, his friend Amy would come along as well. She was 12 years old already and always reminded her younger friends to behave. However, one last glimpse of uncertainty within me caused me to decide that I would sneakily follow them, just to keep an eye on Al from a distance without bothering him. Just to be absolutely safe. I did as I planned, and on Hallows Eve, I let my son put on his costume and painted him some spooky zombie makeup, complete with sprinkles of fake blood on his ripped clothing and smears of it around his mouth. He took a look into the mirror and let out a squeal of delight. He hugged me, grabbed his little bag, and rushed outside. I waited a bit before going outside myself. His father wasn't home that night, so I left a bowl of candy on the front porch in hopes of it not being raided immediately. Upon walking out the door, I saw Al run towards a small group of other kids in fancy costumes. I recognized them all. There was Amy in her witch costume, our neighbor's son Mark was a vampire, and there was a ghost whom I could only assume was Al's best friend Blake. I smiled at the sweet sight. It was always the 4 of them. I followed them at a safe distance, trying not to catch their attention. I watched as they rang at the doors of several houses on their harvest, growing more and more cheerful the more candy they received. It was obvious that Amy wasn't too fond of Al's costume, though. From time to time, my son would scare her by jumping in front of her all of a sudden or making creepy sounds. Amy would shriek loudly every single time before bursting out into laughter. At some point along the way, they began developing Al's zombie scares into a full-on game of catch, my son merrily chasing around the others who, happily giggling, tried to avoid him. It was adorable to watch them play. I knew they weren't little anymore, but it still warmed my heart. They had reached the end of the main road and were still playing catch. They were enjoying themselves, and I was content, until Amy suddenly ran off into the cornfield to the side of the road. Al, Mark, and Blake followed her, howling like little monsters along the way. I was taken aback. The cornfields were large, and children, or rather residents of our neighborhood in general, were forbidden from entering it. Not because they would trample the corn, but because people had gotten lost in there before. I couldn't help but instantly get worried. I hurried to run after them, but seeing as I was in pretty bad shape, it took me a while to find them. When I finally caught up with them, I found that they had gathered at the side of the field. Amy was still chuckling, but completely out of breath. "Give me a second, you guys," she panted. "Aw, come on," Blake argued from under his white cloak. "Playing zombie is so much fun," Al cheered. In the heat of the game, he had completely given up on his usual calm demeanor and was losing himself in a fit of giggles. "Can we keep playing zombie, please?" "Yeah, just give me a second, guys," Amy repeated. She was still bent over and trying to catch her breath. Suddenly, the three boys stuck out their heads together and began murmuring something among themselves, out of earshot from Amy. What? What are you talking about?" the young girl asked. "We're playing zombie for real this time," my son exclaimed. I frowned in confusion, but stayed where I was. I watched as Blake and Mark strode towards Amy and grabbed her by the arms. "It's okay, they're just trying to scare her again," I told myself, but that notion was quickly knocked out of me when Al suddenly picked up a large stone from the dusty ground, his skinny arms struggling to lift the heavy thing. Slowly, at a pace almost menacing, he made his way over to Amy. I wanted to intervene. I wanted to dash out of my hiding spot and stop him, tear that rock out of his hands. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. I was paralyzed. Tears began welling up in my eyes and running down my cheeks as my mouth dropped open, trying to form sounds, to somehow produce this shriek I was hoping for, but to avail. I tried to move. I tried so hard, but I just couldn't. My body didn't obey me. I watched in horror as my son lifted the rock above his head and brought it down on the screaming, struggling girl's head. He did it again. Then again. Then again. My son, my child, my flesh and blood, bashed his friend's skull in. Blood was gushing everywhere, onto my son's hands, his face, his costume. Al let go of the stone and knelt down and fumbled around in the remains of Amy's head. I felt the vomit rise in my throat when I realized what he was doing. I remained paralyzed with fear, terror, and disgust as my son carefully picked at the bloodied, gory mess and slowly led bits of Amy's brains to his mouth. One by one, they vanished in between his lips like trick-or-treat candy. I didn't stay to watch Mark and Blake join him. When I finally regained control over my body, I simply turned and ran. I ran all the way back home, tears of shock still gushing out of my eyes. I barely made it into the bathroom before I started vomiting. When Al came home later that evening, I didn't come out to greet him. I wouldn't have dared look into his eyes. I wouldn't have been able to. I haven't been able to look at him the same way ever since. I don't know why he did such a thing. Was it my fault? Where did I go wrong? How did my sweet little boy turn into a monster? I've pretended that everything was fine for almost a whole year now. Every time I would run into Mark's or Blake's parents on my way around town, every time I would pick up my son from school, I pretended I never saw what I saw. They found Amy's corpse the day after Halloween. The police never found out who had done it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be writing this right now. No suspects were ever arrested either. When they questioned my son, he lied through his teeth. Amy's parents moved away not long after. They couldn't stand being in that home in which they had made so many memories with their daughter. I know I should have told the police, and I hate myself for being too weak to do the right thing. I was scared. Scared of my own son, but at the same time scared of losing him too. I hate myself for not helping Amy. I don't know why I was unable to move, but if I had been able to, if I could trade my life for hers, she would be standing here right now. I wish Halloween 2018 had never happened. It has left my son a killer, a sweet young girl dead, and me, a guilt-stricken shell of my former self. I'm not stupid. I know that withholding information from the police in a case of child murder has severe legal consequences. I deserve everything that's coming to me. but so does he. I guess I thought telling the truth wouldn't make a difference. It wouldn't bring Amy back to life. But by now, I know that those were just the cowardly, foolish thoughts of a cowardly and foolish woman. I know it's way too late, but for once I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to use the bloodstained costume as evidence. I never disposed of it. They're going to figure out which stains are Amy's and which are fake blood, all right. I'm going to name Mark and Blake too. No more Halloween. No more playing zombie. Why did he eat brain? That's nasty. That's really nasty. Why did you do that? That's really gross. Why did you do that? What kind of 10-year-old just does that? Why? And I feel like I don't know what the I don't know if there's like a biological repercussion to eating brains. I feel like there would be, though. I feel like you don't just eat brains and get away with it. Oh, that's really gross. That's really gross. I hate that. Prion disease? What is prion disease? Prion diseases are transmissible, untreatable, and fatal brain diseases of mammals. Their cause is highly unusual. The host's normal prion protein can, for unknown reasons, malfunction and assemble into structured aggregates called prions that cause infectious brain disease. What? Oh, mad cow disease? Mad cow disease. I know that one. Yeah, that was gross. I didn't like that one. Okay. This is the last one. It's you know, zombie theme. Gotta stick with the zombie theme. Okay. It's called The White. White as in W-I-G-H-T. Yes. So let me drink some more water. I wanted to keep all of them on theme, so we're doing zombie creepypastas only. I'm gonna have lunch after stream. Me too. Well, not right after. I have some stuff to do, but me too. Okay. Let us begin. You were looking for zombie themed creepy. Oh yes, did I not make that clear? I'm so sorry. I know you recommended some. I did look at them, and I'm probably gonna take a look at them after, because I actually do kind of enjoy reading these. They're fun. Okay. My grandmother would always tell me ghost stories when I was young. Oh my god, there's already a typo. There's already a fucking typo. Kwakuma, thank you for the gifted mother. Okay. Let's try again. My grandmother would always tell me ghost stories when I was a young boy. She would tell me why I would always wake up at 3 a.m. with a heavy weight on my chest, or why I would hear the walls creak in the winter. Now that I'm older, I know that these stories of her could be explained with things like sleep paralysis or the heat coming on in an old house. But there was one story she told me that I have yet to debunk. Never wander off alone on a cold winter night, she would say. To anyone with half a brain, this should already be obvious for many different reasons, none of which are supernatural. However, when she continued with her cautionary tale, the consequences were not what you might have expected. For if you stray away from your family and friends, you will fall victim to the snow, and he will find you. Who? I asked in a shaky voice. He who breathes tainted life into what has long since perished, the necromancer who lives beneath the ice. What will he do? What he does is unspeakably horrific, she said, her mouth twisting up into a sinister grin. When he finds you, wandering alone in his domain, he will pierce your heart with his cold, icy claws. But the nightmare does not end here. After you are dead, he will bring you back as his undead slave, a cold, mindless zombie, a white. This is typically where my parents would step in and tell my grandmother that she was scaring me. She would continue with these stories up until the day she died, but never did admit to any of them being fiction. When I got older, my grandmother's stories began to fade into the back of my mind. In truth, I never really thought about them at all until recently. I was a junior in college and lived with my girlfriend at the time, Jessica, in a small apartment in northern Massachusetts. During winter break, we decided to go on a ski trip together. Nothing fancy, just a weekend trip. As we were packing the last of our gear into my car, my girlfriend hesitated for a moment. "Is everything okay?" I asked, thinking that maybe she was having second thoughts. "Yeah, I'm fine," she said. "It's just someone said something really weird to me in class the other day, and it's just been bugging me." I turned to her after making sure the last of our belongings were safely in the trunk. "Can you tell me what? I'm sure it's nothing to worry about." She looked up. "They told me that those mountains are haunted by a girl that died there a couple years ago." It took me a moment to think about what she said. It was true that a young girl did go missing a few years back, and one of her friends was later found dead, but I had never heard any ghost stories involving the incident or those mountains. "Don't let them scare you," I said with a smile. "They probably just wanted some attention." She looked at me, reassured, and gave me a kiss. "I guess you're right. After all, I have you to protect me." With that, I gave her a hug, and we were on our way. We reached our destination after a couple hours. It had begun to snow, but nothing that would hinder our ability to ski. After a quick lunch, we headed out to complete our first run of the day. When we got to the top of the ski lift, we made our way to a trail marked with a green square. "Ready to go?" I asked, readjusting my goggles. "Lead the way," Jessica replied. "Just stop halfway down in case I fall behind." The trail wasn't challenging at all, but I figured we might have wanted to start off easy. After all, neither of us had skied in over 2 years, so I was convinced we'd be rusty. It was just like riding a bike. After I got the hang of it again, I was finding every little bump I could to jump off. Since it was a beginner trail, though, they were hard to find. I slid to a stop at the halfway point. Jessica was nowhere in sight. I knew she was a strong skier, so I wasn't really worried about her falling or getting hurt on such an easy run. 10 minutes passed. No Jessica. 20 minutes passed. Still no Jessica. After a half an hour of waiting, I knew something was seriously wrong. I took my skis off and walked up the mountain. There was no sign of her at all. Nobody even looked concerned, like they might have if they saw her crash. It was almost as if she just vanished. With no luck, I put my skis back on and returned to the lodge. I told staff what happened, but even after hours of searching, even they couldn't find her. I felt like I was living in a bad dream. This was the kind of thing that happened in movies, but never in real life. Before it got too dark, I decided to try my luck and search by the woods near the lodge. "Jessica!" I yelled. "Jessica, where are you?" No answer. I was blinded by my determination. Before I knew it, I was so deep into the snow and trees, I had no idea how to get back. It started to get dark. I was scared, not only for what might have happened to my girlfriend, but for myself. I was lost in the woods at night during the winter. I was an adult and was taught to believe in logic, but for some reason I couldn't get my dead grandmother's voice out of my head. "Never wander off alone on a cold winter night, for if you stray away from your family and friends, you will fall victim to the snow, and he will find you." I felt like I was going insane. Why was I so scared of this made-up creature more than something that made sense, like lack of food or a wild animal? All of a sudden, I heard a soft voice that brought me back to reality. "I'm cold," it said. For a second, I thought maybe it was Jessica. "Jessica, is that you?" I should have run. I should have got out of those woods as soon as I felt the fear manifest inside my chest. "I'm cold," the voice repeated, only this time it was louder. It wasn't Jessica. The voice sounded ethereal. I felt like a small animal trapped in a cage, just waiting for my inevitable demise. It was then that I locked eyes with a young girl. For a moment, time stood still, and the world seemed to go quiet. The girl was wearing a long coat and what looked like a beret. Her hair was short and blended in with the snow. What shook me to my core, though, were her eyes. They were nothing but black sockets with glowing blue orbs in the middle. If it weren't for the eerie blue light they emitted, I would never have seen the body crumpled in a heap in front of her. It was Jessica. "Jessica?" I choked and fell backwards onto a nearby tree trunk. My whole body was numb. I truly felt as though this was the end. But the girl never moved. She just stood there, above Jessica's body, those horrible blue lights not once taking their gaze off me. I stumbled, regaining feeling in my legs, and started running. I had no idea where I was or if I would get out alive. Eventually, by some miracle, I made it out of those woods to the lodge. I told the police what I saw that night. Well, some of what I saw anyway. I left out the part about the girl. They found Jessica's body, but never released a report of what caused her death. I took a semester off after the incident. My professors were understanding and told me to take care of myself. It's been a year since all of this happened. I'm doing well in school and even managed to land a part-time job at the cafe by my apartment. People think I'm crazy, and when I tell them what I truly believe is lurking in those mountains, and frankly, I don't believe them. Or I don't blame them. So, for the fun of it, I'll tell you my theory. That girl who went missing was the one I saw that night, standing over Jessica's body. She fell victim to the snow, and he found her. He who breathes tainted life into what has long since perished. The necromancer who lives beneath the ice. What he did was unspeakably horrific. When he found her wandering alone in his domain, he pierced her heart with his cold, icy claws. But the nightmare did not end there. After she died, he brought her back as his undead slave, a cold, mindless body. Zombie. A white. Huh? I didn't like that one. I didn't like that one. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. That one was kind of silly. I didn't like that one. I think they got worse and worse as we went on. The first one that was submitted was really fucking good. I like that one a lot. The rest were all question mark. I guess some creepypastas are simply better than others, but that first one with the Debook was pretty cool. Okay, that's all for today. I wanted to read some creepy stuff. Okay, let's Thank you for all of the supers and member thingies. Hyper Epsilon, thank you so much for being 1 month to baby. I just hide in Cole's lab for protection. Surely they have combat bots in there, right? No, all you get is me, and I'm not much of a fighter. All right, I'm not much of a fighter, so you're kind of on your own on that one, buddy. I apologize in advance. Dark, thank you for the $2. Is that an acronym I see? Thank you for goddamning me. I genuinely did not get that one. Duns, thank you for the $5. Killing zombies seems selfish. Others might see differently. Unusual opinion, I know. Is a zombie alive though? Stimuli make them react. Counting them as less than human seems cruel. Unless the end. I would kill a zombie. If I was a human and it was threatening my life, I would kill one. Unless it was like someone that I knew and like very recognizably that person, like it would mess me up. I would be very upset. Immortal in Flames, thank you for the 2 Australian. Thank you for reading little stories for us. Thank you for listening. Demon Warrior, thank you for the $2. This creepypasta story of us being the zombie reminds me of the webcomic Boyfriend of the Dead. If you have free time, I recommend the read. It's more mystery and comedy in a zombie apocalypse. Okay, nice. I have been enjoying zombie content a little bit more lately, so yes, I will check it out. And Kawakuma, thank you so much for the gifted mother. I will treat her well. Let me turn that off. And then remember that member stream when you told me to try and you got him? Oh, indeed. Would it be wrong to enjoy slaughtering zombies? That'd be a little bit messed up. Wait, look at the first letters of each sentence. Oh no. Ko is. What is up with these Zatsus and you trying to get me, man? What is up with that? I hate it here. I hate it here. I hate it here. I hate it here. May I recommend some ones for you to read in your free time? Yes, please do. I will read the ones that you sent, that you tweeted. I will read those, and then feel free to recommend any other ones. I enjoy reading these. They're probably the only scary content that I can tolerate. All right, you freaking nerds. I hate that this has become a trend. I hate it. I hate it so much. Let's end stream here. I'm too mad to keep going. I'm too enraged by your by your perseverance in goddamning me. I hate it here. I hope you had fun. I definitely enjoyed reading through all of those spooky things, and I look forward to perishing in the zombie apocalypse with you. Stream, oh my god, I just realized, like, all of my streams are like within 12 hours of each other. So we're streaming again at 7 p.m. PST. So like in 6.5 hours? No, 9.5 hours? I can't do math. 9.5 hours. I will see you then. No, sorry, it's 8 p.m. PST, right? Yes, 8 p.m. PST. So how many hours is that? 10.5? I don't know. I look at the fucking waiting room and figure it out, man. And Steamer Warrior, thank you for the banana. In the meantime, take care of yourself. Just be kind to yourself. Be good. Behave. Take your meds, drink your water, eat your food because you deserve it. Okay? Math isn't your strong suit. It really isn't. But let's raid Erica, who is playing Baldur's Gate, and I will see you guys for some pew 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 Valorants in 10.5 hours. Okay? Bye bye. Bye bye. Oh god, a zombie! Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! It's eating me! It's eating my face! Oh god! Zombie noises!